Hello everybody, I'm Lonnie with Everything Nature, and today we are going to talk about an animal that is very near and dear to my heart. So stick around. Today we are going to be talking about alligators. Now, alligators are reptiles in the family Crocodilians. There are actually only two species of alligators. There are American alligators and Chinese alligators. The North American alligators, like we have here in North America, are the larger of the two species. The males usually average around 10 feet or so, in the 500-pound range, but they can actually get over 15 feet long. There are rumors of some that have been almost 20 feet, but I couldn't actually find any confirmation on that, so that's still to be determined. Whereas Chinese alligators are more going to be in the 6-foot range. They're quite a bit smaller. Now, alligators being cold-blooded have to live in areas that are warm. The highest concentration of American alligators we have here are going to be like Florida, Louisiana, Texas, in that area. Although we do have wild alligators in Oklahoma, believe it or not. If you look along the back of them, they have all these scales and bumps, and underneath those they have what are called osteoderms. These, as the name suggests, are a type of skin bone. They're a free-floating bone. They're not attached to any part of the alligator skeleton. They just sort of sit underneath the scales on their back and provide extra armor. So today, not only are we going to get to see some cool alligator skulls, we're actually going to meet a couple of alligators close up. Alright, so before we get started, I just want to let everybody know PJ and I have a long history together. I've actually helped take care of him almost his entire life, since he was about 6 months old or so, which has been about the last 7 years. So we know each other very well. I know what he's going to be doing. I am what you could call a professional, so please don't think this is something that you can try at home. If you do happen to have alligators at home, just leave them alone, alright? Okay. Hey there, PJ. Hey, buddy. Oh, you have gotten really big, bud. PJ here is an American alligator. First off, you can tell the difference between an alligator and a crocodile by mostly looking at their face. With an alligator, if you look at the shape of his nose, it's got kind of a U-shaped snout. And if you look along the side of his mouth, he's talking to me. If you look at the side of his mouth, with alligators, you can only see their top teeth sticking downwards along the side, whereas a crocodile, you would see very large bottom teeth sticking up along the side. People, of course, think of alligators as scary. They are reptiles. They do eat meat, of course, but they're really not as dangerous as a lot of people think they are. Obviously, you don't want to go up to a wild alligator and just pick it up like this. But wild alligators are really pretty timid. They don't want to chase people or even eat people. A lot of the time, wild alligators, when they have confrontations with people, it's because people have been feeding them, and the alligators have lost their natural fear of large, scary predators like humans, and they see them as a source of food. And actually, in Florida, it is against the law to feed alligators for this reason. Alligators are also really good parents, or the moms are anyways. Alligator dads don't really do much for their babies, but the mom alligators take great care of their babies. They will protect the eggs while they're incubating. They build their nests underground. They'll dig kind of a little shallow hole in the sand and then cover it with leaves and other type of brush to make sort of a self-heating covered nest. And so the females will protect that while the babies are incubating. After the babies hatch, the mother will dig the eggs up, and any that are not quite fully hatched out of the egg yet, she'll actually help them come out of the egg. and then will carry the babies from the nest site down to the water in her mouth. And then even after they're in the water, she'll stick around and take care of them and kind of watch over them for almost a year. And this is pretty unusual with most reptiles, because normally reptiles, they'll sort of just lay their eggs and then they're out of there. They don't really care much what happens to the babies after that. So alligators and crocodiles are sort of an exception to this rule, which, you know, makes them kind of sweet, I think. Alligators have some really interesting features to help them survive. One thing that's really cool is they have built-in goggles. If you look really closely at his eyes, he's got what's called a nictitating membrane, and it's actually clear. So as he goes underwater, he can close that membrane and he can still see through it because it's transparent. And that way he doesn't get, you know, debris and sticks and things in his eyes, and he can still see underwater where he's going. Also, their nose will close off when they go under. I can't really make his nose close, but that way he doesn't get water down his nose, because if anyone who's ever got water in their nose knows, that hurts a lot. He also has a special flap in his throat that will close his throat off, so if he's catching prey underwater, he doesn't drown. But the coolest features, in my opinion anyways, are these little dots on their face. And not only do they look really spiffy, they're actually sensors, so that when the alligators are underwater, they can feel any little tiny splashes or ripples that are around them. They can use this to not only sense if a larger animal or alligator is near them, but also to see if there may be prey nearby. Another cool adaptation alligators have are their teeth. And, you know, some people say, well, obviously, their teeth. But what's really cool about their teeth is they have a nearly endless supply of them. If you look on this guy, their teeth are actually stacked almost like ice cream cones, you could say. So every time one of their teeth falls out, there's already another one already about halfway grown. So he pretty much never runs out of teeth. For an animal with a lifespan the same as a human's, that is a lot of teeth. And this guy, a little beaut, although I'll tell you a secret, he's really not an alligator. This is a caiman. And caimans are close relatives of alligators. They're still crocodilians, but they're not true alligators. Caiman are from South America. There are several different species. I believe this one is a dwarf caiman. But you can tell he's not an alligator because his snout is shaped a little bit different than our alligators. And he's got sort of this shield plate on top of his head. He's also got orange eyes, as opposed to the gray or green eyes that most alligators have. And I'm not sure why, but he's also got these funny orange teeth. But I still think he's adorable. If you love learning about cool nature-y things, please like this video and subscribe to Everything Nature. Thank you very much!
Those happy birds.
Such happy birds.
Maybe not happy.